Mike, and today I'll be assembling the bat, and I already put a little skeleton in here, but I'll start from scratch, and this way I could show what I'm doing here. So the first thing I do is I import this file, and it's made of three different layers, three different pieces that automatically load into Animate Studio Pro. And for the character, I'll assign it a skeleton. So I'll start with the hip of the character and just move up to the shoulders and then the face. And then now that I'm selected on the face, I'll just extend the jaw as the next one. And then for the ears, now that I'm on the face, I could have the ears move a little bit too. So I'll just go like that. But for the wings, I'm not going to assign those any part, and I'll show exactly why in just a minute. But I'll put this up here and let me just test this out. It's got a gap in the back there. So one thing I could try is just to move it down a little. That would be this tool here. Actually, I can't move it down. I can move it back. That might work. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. That's not too bad. If I could rotate it a little, I think that might be better. So the way you would do that is go to your actual jaw within the section and then just go like that. Maybe rotate it like that. And then you have to adjust your the bone for it. So I would just go like back here and just move that there. Maybe even move that down a little bit further. So then when I test it out, let's see, I have to move that piece maybe right about there. And then to test it out, I just go like that. See, it's in the wrong spot. I'm just trying to cover this gap here, but that's really a matter of the drawing. I could fix that in the drawing. I could have it like that, but I want his mouth to open like that. So what I'll do is go back to this, the jaw, and then for this I could just get it back to the default, and then for this piece here, I'll just bring it over here a little further to the left, to the right, and now just reset this to right about there, and then see his jaw opens pretty wide there. I think I could just move it back a little, so right about there, and then just have it like that. Originally I wasn't going to have the jaw move, but it's a neat little expression for the character, so I'll just add that in there. So for the ears, I don't want a lot of effect. Like for that's the problem right there. So I just might have to delete those the ears if it continues to affect everything. See, that's pretty bad there. So this, because it's so close to the wing, I'll just delete that. Alright, so now I have this character, and you can see I did not assign anything to the wings, and yet they're still not too bad. They're not like really badly distorted or anything like that. They actually work. So I have to create a tail. I forgot about that. So I'll just click on the piece that I want the tail attached to, and then I'll just create the tail like that. And now when I move the tail, you get that effect. Of course, it's still affecting the wing a little. And to reduce the effect of it, you just reduce the scale of these, and this has less effect on the other parts. This way the tail can move independently like that. It's a little rough there though, that's not good. So to give it more of a smooth turn, I'll just add a little more reach for it. Still, that's a little better. Alright, so that's pretty decent. Now the reason I didn't do anything for the wings, and let me just look at the wings really quick. This is the reason. I will pick this tool here. It's called Set Origin, and here's the origin here. You can see this little piece. I'll move this piece right here to the pivot of the wing. So now when I do my animation, I'll just go to it's called a scale layer, and I'll just go like this, and once I get to this point, I'll flip it here really quick, and then I'll just go like that, and the wing will go up and down like that and create a flapping effect. And that's a really simple way to get the wing to look like it's animated. And then I'll just put it in a cycle, which is really easy to create. So once I have this all pieced together, let me show what that would look like. Alright, so that looks good there. I didn't want that to happen. Alright, so that looks pretty good. I'm satisfied. Let me go to frame 1 and see what this all looks like. Actually, I like the wing like that a little better than that. Let me see if I could affect see if I do that, add more to that, maybe that'll be better. Maybe like that. Let's see how everything else goes. Yeah, that makes the wing a little less messed up. So here's his pivot right there. That's where you can pivot it. Alright, so now that I have all that, there are no real keyframes I need to do any actions for here. So, like the wings flapping, that cannot be an action because it doesn't have a skeleton to it. But for the bat itself, let's see, I'll take this and I'll just move it here. That's his main pivot, and then the wings, they have their pivot there, and then the rest separate. But let's see, this way if I want to rotate the bat, I just go like that. Alright, so here's what I'll show for the animation. I'll close his mouth a little bit like that. What I could do in the drawing, I'll just smooth this out, round that out, and that'll look like it's connected. Otherwise it just cuts off there. Alright, so here's the bat, and here's the height, and I could go, Actually, I could probably do an animation for this, since I'm going to have some. Let's see. So I'll go to flap wings. Flap wings height. So I'll just call it flap wings height, because what's going to happen is I'll keyframe this. So let's say his wings are up there. That means he'll be falling a little bit. So I'll base this off of 1 second of animation. So he's falling a little bit, and here his wings will be going down, and then here his wings will be fully down. So this is where it'll move the character up, and then here he'll start to fall down again, and then by frame 24 he'll be back to 0, and then like that. So what I could do here is just move that a little bit so it's not so similar to frame 1. I'll just add the keyframe there and delete that. But I forgot to keyframe everything else here. So, oh, actually that was for the height. I didn't set any of these up yet. Alright, so for this I could just do that, and now I could copy this here and just go like that, and then maybe like that. And now for this one, alright, so here he is, here he's falling. So if his wings are starting to move down, I could let's see, that means his tail would start to go up maybe. Oh no, well, yeah, because he's falling. So he's falling, and then here he's rising. So I'll just throw his tail down like that, and it moves his head up a little like that. I could move it, close the mouth, because he'll be in. Alright, so his wing goes down, here is fully down, and then he should rise. He should be gaining height right here. So maybe move him up there. Maybe that's a little too extreme. Maybe just down a little bit more. So falling down, his wing hits the bottom, and that lifts him up, and he's falling down again. So when he's falling, I'll just have his head move up a little, and then his tail move up as well. So that over there to that. Does his mouth open a little bit more? Yeah. Alright, this keyframe, for some reason I didn't put anything here yet. So I could just do something like that. I think that's fine. Alright, so I'll see how that works. The only thing is, for this, I'll just keyframe the height on that, and then I'll keyframe these. I'll delete this, and then I could just adjust those over there. Alright, so I'll test it all out and see how it goes. I'll go to the main line, double click, and now I'll save it. And here on frame 1, I'll copy paste this into here, and then I'll go like that, copy, and then go to 24 and paste that there. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, that looks okay. So here's where I'll go to the wing itself. Now I'll go to my transform tool, I'll keyframe it right there, and now it's over 18 seconds, so I'll have this one keyframed as well. Now here is where the wing will be fully down, so I'll just go like this in one shot, and there it is. And what I'll do is, that should be similar to that, so I'll just loop these. You right click on the keyframe itself and press cycle. Now it'll say what this value that represents the frame. So like you could have frame 1 or you could have frame 626, it doesn't matter, as long as that's the frame you want to cycle back to. Under absolute, cycle back to this exact frame. Relative is if you have counted how many frames you want, then you could just go relative and then pick how many frames. That's why it just says value instead of frame. But I'm pretty used to doing it this way, so I'll just go like that. Now what that I'll do is extend the flight beyond the first frame and just keep going on infinitely. See how it's still flapping? And I don't have anything keyframed here. That's because I have it cycled. And to stop a cycle, you just click right there. I'm not going to click, but with your animated transformation, you just click in there and it'll stop. And then you could animate it from there, or go with another cycle at that point. Alright, so now that I have that, I gotta go back to, actually that's irrelevant there. I have to go up here to the skeleton. And now, rather than yeah, for the for the animation it's a little different. I have to delete these since I'm going to loop it, and I have to have frame 1 and frame 24 just a little bit different. So his cycle is 18 frames for his wings, and his wings are up on frame 18. So maybe I'll just delete. What happens if I go 18 to 1? That's too jarring. That means I have to reconsider the animation. I have to go back into here and realize this has to be ending here. So I'll just go like that. I'll move this maybe here, and on a frame 18 I'll duplicate that right there and copy and paste it there. But I have to have it a little bit different than frame 1, otherwise it'll look like he's stalling. So I'll just move frame, wow, that was weird. I'll just move frame 18 over to the right a little, and then I'll just add these keyframes here. And that's going to be the loop, so that has to match that. It's going to look just like that probably. So it'll go like that on the loop. Alright, so let's see how that looks. I'll go to the main line by double clicking. I'll go to frame 1 of as many frames as you want. But since it's only going to be a short cycle, and he'll constantly be flying until he no longer flies, let's see, I'll I'll import this here. Just go to insert copy and press it in there, and it goes to frame 18 like that. We'll go to frame 18 here. This is the mainline timeline. I'll click on that, go to cycle, and then absolute value 1. And then for the wing itself, now that I have that already flapping, I could keep going and he'll have his flight motion. There it is. That worked out pretty good. Alright, the only problem is I forgot the other wing in the back. So that is a bit of a problem. However, I like what I have so far, and I don't think it should be too difficult to figure it out. So let me see what I can do. Let's say you wanted to add something to this character. So the one thing I want to do is add another wing. So I'll just go click on that, and it duplicates the wing that I was selected on. And then I'll go to the very bottom, because the wing should be behind the jaw, and then I have that other wing there. Let's see if it worked right. And the way I could tell is I'll go to this again. Oh, see, that's not going to work there. Alright, I have to figure out where that wing is. So if I get rid of that wing, it shows the back wing. Now I have to move the back wing, and I think it's affected by this here. This is keyframed here. So let me just move the wing itself like that and see how that is. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it worked. So there it is. I have two wings, just that easily. They're a little uniform, so I could rotate it a little bit just to make it look a little less uniform. So the way I could do that is for the wing itself. Once again, I'll have actually the pivot don't work there, so let me just rotate it. It's already at that point like that, so let me see what happens here. Does it work? Yeah, that works. Alright, so now he looks more like a full bat. That right there looks a little weird. I don't like that. So what I could do is actually create the in-betweens for the flight, but I have to be aware that the other wing is affected just as equal. Alright, but it shouldn't be too much to worry about. Let me go into my transform. So this part here looks fine. This part is the problem right here. So to resolve that problem and not have it so flat looking, I'll keyframe right here, and the way you do that is just click right in there and it keyframes it. I'll do the same for the other wing, keyframe that. So now that I get here, which looks a little weird still, I'm just going to flip it this way, give it a little more volume, and then get that wing and flip that wing that way. See, that looks decent there. So he's flying, and then his wing clicks down like that, and that looks decent, and that looks decent, so I'm good there. So there it is, and now I'll just go to take a look at it. Let's get to frame 1, and I'll zoom out, and I'll move this up here for my animation. Now I'll just press play, and there it is. You got a flying bat. Isn't that pretty cool? This is the first time I tried something that flies with the scale tool, but I think that works out pretty good. It'll look smoother in the final animation, but yeah, I like that. That's neat. Alright, so he's falling. See, he stops there. That, I guess that makes sense because his wings are stopping his fall. By this point the wing is sideways, but you can't tell unless you're sideways to the character looking forward. But we're only getting a side view. Yeah, that works though. I think it works. Alright, so now that I have that, I'll just press save. And then when I import this character into another setup, I'll just take what I have here and hopefully it'll just drop right in, all set up like that. Alright, and that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and feel free to comment, subscribe, like, and share. And I hope you learned something. Thanks again.